welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today, we're going to feature another installment in my occasional series, 5 Favorites. This time, I'm going to talk about something I think is really fun, but also a bit macabre. My 5 favorite death sequences in comics. And boy, this could be a gigantic list, much larger than 5, but I've narrowed it down to 5. And I'm going to obviously tip my hand on the first one. And these are in no particular order. I'm just going to talk about them as they come. So readers of the show, comic fans in general, surely you can guess which one I'm talking about just by the cover of this incredible Bill Sienkiewicz cover of the Phoenix Saga. Let me move the others to the side so that I don't tip my hand on the other ones. And let us journey into the Dark Phoenix Saga, looking at these incredible John Byrne pages on this awesome Baxter paper. And of course, we have the lead up. The X-Men have battled the Imperial Guard and lost, but in losing, the Imperial Guard have awakened the Phoenix in Jean Grey, which had been hidden away with psychic circuit breakers set by Professor Xavier in the previous issue. This is, of course, X-Men 137, the cataclysmic conclusion to the Dark Phoenix saga. And the one thing about this reprint that I don't like is it doesn't have the covers. So, but this is X-Men 137. And of course, I had this one rebound because the binding had failed. On these old Marvel trade paperbacks from the late 80s, the bindings would fail with pretty regular reading. So here we are. Phoenix is back. She's trashed the Imperial Guard. Xavier has awakened the X-Men who had been routed by the Imperial Guard rather handily, I might add. And so he's roused the X-Men to take on Phoenix again. And right now it's just Phoenix. Jean Grey is just Phoenix. She's in the Phoenix outfit. She hasn't metamorphosized yet into Dark Phoenix, but it happens rather quickly. The Phoenix is a cosmic power. It can neither be contained nor controlled, especially by a human vessel. Return it to the cosmos, which is its home. Kill me. No, it doesn't have to be like this. You have an intellect, Jean, a will, a soul. Use them. Fight this dark side of yourself. We'll help you. The power. Changing me. It's too soon. Jean, wait. You're not giving us any choice. The choice was never yours to begin with. Telekinetic force bolt. I can't move. You see, Scott, I told you. Jean to Phoenix to Dark Phoenix. A progressive as inevitable as death. You, of all people, should know how I feel through the psionic rapport we share. I'm scared, Scott. I'm hanging on by my fingernails. I can feel the Phoenix within me taking over. Part of me welcomes it. You want me to fight? I have. I am, with all my strength. But I can't forget that I killed an entire world, 5 billion people, as casually, as unthinkingly as you would crumple a piece of paper. I want no more deaths on my conscience. Your way, I'd have to stay completely in control of myself every second of every day for the rest of my immortal life. Maybe I could do it, but if I slipped even for an instant, if I failed, and check it out here, this as this is going on, this awesome rendering from John Byrne and Terry Austin, this piece of ancient armament arising from the blue area of the moon. If even one more person died at my hands, it's better this way, quick, clean, final. I love you, Scott. A part of me will always be with you. Jean, no, don't, no. Scott, Jean. You planned this, didn't you? From the moment we landed on the moon. You shielded your intentions from our rapport. But just the same, I should have guessed, I should have realized that you could not become Dark Phoenix and remain true to yourself, the Jean Grey I knew and fell in love with. So you took steps to ensure that if Lilandra couldn't stop you, you'd do the job yourself. So tremendous act of, some might say, mercy, although of course it is suicide, so it's definitely a difficult topic, but an incredibly gripping conclusion to the Dark Phoenix saga. Of course, it wasn't originally written this way. Jim Shooter forced Claremont, Byrne, and Austin's hand, along with editor Jim Salicrup. So they had to change the story. Originally, she was just going to be psychically neutered, but having done what she did, she had to, quote unquote, die. And she does. And she stays dead for quite some time until they think of a pretty innovative way to bring her back. Jean Grey, that is. The Phoenix cannot really be killed. It is an immortal force. So yeah, that's the first one on my 5 favorite death scenes in comics. Let's put that aside and go with what I think is one that may come out of left field for some, but not for me. I love Camelot 3000. Brian Boland, Mike W. Barr, Brian Boland, and Terry Austin on this issue 12 of the 12-issue maxi series. And we get down to the final battle here between the forces of King Arthur and the evil Morgan Le Fay, and this Brian Boland artwork is incredible. I should say it took about 3 years for the last 2 issues of this 12-issue maxi series to come out. So when it finally did come out, a lot of people were a bit nonplussed by it, but it doesn't rob the actual work of any of its power. It just, the momentum of the series had been robbed by the delays in production and the delays in time. So, but here it is anyway. So, here we go. We'll pick it up here with this final climactic move that Morgan Le Fay springs on them. My knights, I do believe our struggle is at last over. It's over. Now I can return to my family. We can go home, Tristan, pick up our lives again. I can't. You can if you want to. Not over yet, brother. Not while I live, not while my magics are mine. To summon all my loyal servants, all the way from home. Merlin, can you defeat them? I am yet too weak for a spell of that magnitude, Arthur. I am able to transport us away. No. I will see this ended. Prepare yourself and my knights for transit. I will tend to Morgan myself. Yes, you will. Come, all of you. Arthur? Arthur, what are you doing? What I must do, my queen. Arthur, you can't. Farewell, Lance. I pray that both of you are happy. Removing your knights from won't stop me, Arthur. I'll find them. No, Morgan. You began this war, but Excalibur and I shall end it. What are you? And years agone, I did take Excalibur from a stone, and now I shall return it. So by driving Excalibur into this special obelisk, Arthur creates a nuclear reaction which destroys Morgan Le Fay and all of the alien forces that had been plaguing Earth up to this point in the story. And this is incredibly, dare I say, metal finale to this incredible saga. Pays off big time with a huge explosion and no Deus Ex Machina to save Arthur. It's pretty incredible, and the visuals deliver. Here's Lancelot, of course, in agony over his friend's sacrifice. Just really great. Here's the Grail imagery, just so powerful. Mike W. Barr was a student of Sir Thomas Malory and all of the Arthurian legends. So pretty awesome. And here, of course, they remember Arthur. We think of them as dead, our friends and son. And being mortal, we must. But if this experience has taught us anything, it is that on this plane or another, this life is not the end. Wise words for a change. Merlin, what do you want? To tell you farewell for now. Where are you going? Earth needs you to help repair. I am gone to plan and to ponder until the cycle begins anew. So that it is pretty great. We see all of those surviving Knights of the Round Table kind of doing their thing, getting on with their lives. Of course, this story was way ahead of its time. And Guinevere, the reincarnated Guinevere, finds out she's pregnant, and she tells Lancelot she hopes that it's Arthur's baby. And of course, he eventually says, so do I, which is pretty great. And then we have this beginning anew here, which is pretty awesome. This alien, this from this strange world, finding the sword again in the stone and being able to pull it. and the road goes ever on. So pretty great. Chapter 12, Long Live the King. Just phenomenal. Tremendous payoff. Great job. Camelot 3000, number 12. Another of my 5 favorite death scenes. And let's get into this one. There are so many great death scenes in the Suicide Squad series, the 66 original issues, and probably some of the newer ones as well, which I haven't paid as close attention to. I need to do more Squad coverage on the show because it is one of my favorite titles. I have probably a half dozen letters printed in the letters page. I was a diehard fan from the beginning. So this is issue 26 by John Ostrander, Grant Meem, Carl Kessel. And Grant Meem didn't do many issues of Suicide Squad, but those he did are awesome. He was a great guest penciler. Carl Kessel, tremendous inker. Ostrander, fantastic scripter. So we have in this series an opening shot of Jotunheim, Jotunheim Mountain, Quarak, which is a DC universe, Middle Eastern country. The title of this story is Stone Cold Dead. Now, Jotunheim happens to be a manufacturer of superhuman beings, and those beings, most of them end up in the Jihad, which was, at the time, a group of superhuman terrorists. And so they were a multiple-time foe of the Suicide Squad by this point in the series. They had tangled twice. And so this remained a dangling plot line. They were a threat. And Amanda Waller knew at some point that they would have to be taken out. But Rick Flag, at this point too, has also gone rogue. And he's on his own. And he's going to act on his own. I love this framing sequence here, this pie throwing. There's so many great moments in the series, but I'm not going to linger too long. I want to focus on what I've come to talk about, which is this death scene here, which is pretty great. So Nightshade, Eve, she gets a letter from Rick Flag, and it basically quickly recounts some Squad history and how Jotunheim has played a role in the previous Squad as well as this new incarnation of the Squad. I'll just read a brief snippet from his letter, and then I'll read a bit more after the death sequence because it's pretty poignant. Forgive me. I don't know who else to write. You were the last person that I really talked to before I went AWOL, or was it amok? I realize that I've screwed up pretty bad. I swear to you, I didn't know that the wall had already dealt with Tolliver. I thought it was all coming apart. I couldn't bear it. As I told you, all I've got in my life is the Squad. So he took some extreme measures. I'm not going to get into the details of the story. That's for another day. But anyway, he's completely a rogue agent now. And there was a hint that these two could eventually become romantically involved, but it just didn't happen. And I love the Nightshade character too. What a great use of an old Charlton character she became. So we get a bit of a flashback again to the old Squad, which is pretty great. And now we have Rick Flag here in some infiltration gear, which is great, making an entry into the Jotunheim to do the final dirty work that has to be done. And they spared no punches here as he takes out this guard. It's obvious what happens. This was not a title for the faint of heart. And then here we have Rustam, who was the main leader of the Jihad super criminals. He knows something's going on. So he's very alert here. Rick Flag, he knows from his knowledge of the original Squad that there was this primitive German A-bomb stored in Jotunheim. And so he's going to use these charges to set that bomb off. Meanwhile, Rustam, he picks up on this. And I do love this completely wordless sequence that we get, starting with a couple of panels at the end of page 17 and moving forward. Reminds me a little bit of Silent Interlude from G.I. Joe 21, an all-time classic. They do a nice job here with the artwork and the scripting of a wordless page, except for a few sound effects. Wham! Woof! Spakow. And the cool thing, I always loved Russell. He was a great villain. He could summon an energy blade, which was really cool, and he was a good fighter. And of course, Rick Flag is just a normal dude who with a lot of like military skills, including hand to hand. So they have a pretty great fight as he somehow manages to disarm him from his energy blade. So then it's just knife to knife. And we can see as this is going on, the countdown. So this fight goes on for a little while and it gets accelerated here, 20 seconds, all the way down to this panel here to 3 seconds until he says, "Say goodbye, you son of a for doom." And then you can see this slow, almost slow motion destruction of Jotunheim and this incredible Kraka-Doom explosion here in the desert, taking out this super terrorist manufacturing facility. Pretty awesome. Love these test tubes here. It's just great details. And then we get news reports, so Eve knows what happens, and we get some final stuff from the letter, which is really poignant. I'm going to read a bit of it. "I won't ask you to carry on for me, Eve. That's a dead end I found myself in. Live your life. Get out of the squad before it poisons you. Be happy. For God's sake, be happy. If you can. That was something I never learned to do. If you can think kindly of me, if I succeed in what I've set out to do, I think you'll be able to tell that's all I really want, Eve. For someone to know what I've done. Thank you for the friendship you've shown. I wish I could have responded more. Goodbye, Rick Flag." So, pretty awesome, pretty epic, and dare I say, another metal death here from Rick Flag in this five favorite death scenes. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. Warlock. So I've talked about Warlock. I've read some of these on the show. I think the first two of these incredible reprints, Warlock special editions on this gorgeous Baxter paper. Can't talk highly enough about it. So much happens in this series. It's just tremendous. But on the homeworld of the Universal Church of Truth, Warlock, his at the time ally Thanos, Gamora, and Pip are trying to get away from the agents of the Universal Church of Truth, led by the Magus, who is Warlock's future self. It's confusing, but the story is epic, and once you read it, it will just give you a new appreciation for the genius of Jim Starlin. So they get away, and they're walking through the catacombs beneath the Universal Church of Truth. We get this amazing recap of previous events. And in the darkness, Warlock comes across the matriarch. "You, the matriarch. Who? Is that you, Death? Have you come to deliver me from this pain that is life?" "No, it's I, Adam Warlock." "Adam, I'm so glad. I didn't want to die alone. I failed to serve the Magus properly, and I am here to do penance for my sins. Why have you come, Adam?" "I too am here to pay for the evil within me." "Then that means we both lost to the Magus. How sad." "I guess we were both destined to be losers, Adam, for we set impossible goals for ourselves. I wanted to be a goddess, and you wished to slay a god. I'm afraid the only thing you can do properly by yourself is die." This is just incredible. Look at Death there. This is an amazing sequence here as they almost kiss. Their lips are so close. "I'm so sorry. If I had only known, I would have probably done exactly as much as I have done. Only it would be much harder now. I would have still asked why, not seeing the truth before me all the while. For it is my nature to question, but never to answer. I now realize that to seek, but never to find, is my destiny." So he goes on to ruminate, but yeah, this just as a kid, 12 years old, discovering this in the pages, of fantasy masterpieces in the backup stories. So awesome. Yeah, this is great. And then number 5, probably not surprising, from the pages of Warlock. This is the special edition, issue 6. Warlock and Captain Marvel arrive to destroy Thanos' star-destroying device. Captain Marvel knocks himself out doing it, careening into it. And who? Adam Warlock, the God Slayer, has come for you, demon. Prepare to die. Fool! Nothing stops death. Nothing. Not even a poor, deluded maniac who claimed to be the champion of life. So die, Adam Warlock. My mistress awaits you. Tell her I follow shortly behind you, bringing an offering of undreamed-of magnitude. The stars. So this incredible sequence of Warlock falling, and again we see the visage of death in the background of the panel. So incredible. And this, of course, this death is linked to, I'm gonna sneak these in as number 5, even though they're probably 5 and 6, but I'll cheat a little because it's my show and I can do that. Toward the end of the story, when all seems lost and they can't quite wrangle Thanos, even though 2 of the mightiest individuals in the Marvel Universe, the Thing and Thor, are tangling with him, Thanos is engaging them both in melee here, which is incredible. Look at this sequence, just tremendous. Blast them away. And Spider-Man, at the urging of Master Order and Lord Chaos, breaks this spear, this power spear. And we have here Warlock in the Soul Gem saying, being pulled, force drawn from the gem, being called back to reality for one last task, one last mission of vengeance. So this is the Soul Gem. This sphere is actually holding the Soul Gem that once dotted Adam Warlock's brow. So by Spider-Man shattering it, he frees Adam Warlock, and we're going to see our final, most metal death in comics, at least by my reasoning. What the devil did I do? You have succeeded in releasing me, the ultimate avenger. Thanos knows me, and my purpose is that not so, evil one? By the great Nebula, it cannot be you. I saw you die, I killed you. That you did, vile servant. Yet, I could not rest until you remained, as long as you remained a threat to my universe. No, stay back. You can't stop me. Not now, no! The explosive flash blinds everyone momentarily, but even when their vision clears, none are quite sure. They should believe what their eyes see. Before them had stood Thanos, proud, powerful, ruthless, and mere heartbeats from victory. Now, in that exact spot, moments later, stands the massive Titan, transformed into solid granite. And of course, all of his followers give up, and Adam Warlock knows a final piece here with back in this world of the Soul Gem with Gamora and Pip. And of course, they would be reincarnated again, but you know what they say about characters in comics. They always come back, even if you do have the body. So yeah, that was my 5 favorite death sequences in comics. In no real particular order. They're pretty incredible. I really think that there are probably others out there that folks could talk about, and if you can think of one that's your favorite, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I do like engagement in the comments, and some of you are really great with that. I really appreciate it. It keeps me going, keeps me interested. Sorry about the long delay between this episode and the last. I'll try to stay on a more regular tack. Just been working too much lately. But I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like and subscribe. tell your friends, and I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.